during the Copa America final, we saw the real Fred, because in Manchester United,
he panicked.
He got yellow card. I mean, in the Copa final, he got yellow card, and halftime he got sent out. In Man United, Ole might play him until the 60 or 70 minutes, even 80 or 90 minutes. So for me, it was worse. If someone to sell or someone to be on the books to take him out, I think Fred will be the one, because he's no different. He's not the Kante. He's the cartoon. He's nothing.
Shout out to Smurf. Okay, so now let's move on to our next player, Bruno Fernandes. Okay, Jai, apa jadi dengan kapten kita, Jai? Bruno Fernandes.
Okay, actually okay. Bruno Fernandes untuk 4 game, tak ada gol, tak ada assist, tak ada apa, langsung tak ada apa-apa.
Tak ada ke
itulah. Ada kat padang ke, tak ada kat padang ke, aku pun tak faham. Okay, Bruno Fernandes ni sebenarnya dia memang mungkin dia tak ada experience ke dekat dalam game-game besar, ataupun mungkin dia tak dapat boost dia ke, ataupun mungkin dia tak catch up dengan Euro punya tournament ni ke. Tapi yang apa yang I nak bagi tahu, Bruno Fernandes memang apa yang kita jangkakan dia akan menyelah dalam Euro, tapi dia tak menyelah. Dia tak ada skor, dia tak ada assist. Mungkin disebabkan faktor Cristiano Ronaldo ada dekat situ ke, ataupun mungkin dia ada faktor Jota ada dekat situ ke. Tapi apa-apa pun, game untuk mana-mana team, big team macam Portugal, mesti kena ada sesuatu yang tak kena dekat Bruno Fernandes.
Mungkin dia penat kot, Jai. Mungkin dia penat ke?
Ya, kita boleh.
Mungkin juga.
Because
mungkin juga dia penat dengan tak perform. Tapi kita expect benda yang terbaik untuk Bruno, sebab apa-apa pun dia menyelah dekat English Premier League. Dia score, dia assist. Tapi masalahnya dia tak buat benda tu. Dia tak ada buat benda tu. So mengecewakan lah. Untuk I, dia mengecewakan lah.
Mungkin ada kemungkinan towards the end of the season, maybe Ole memang mainkan dia, and then you tahu lah, Bruno dia lari daripada striking position all the way to defense, all over the pitch. Kalau dia punya heat map memang kau-kau punya lah. So maybe itu salah satu faktor yang affect dia punya performance. But no doubt Portugal kalah pasal Jota lah. Cilaka. Itu memang itu.
If I may add a bit about Bruno lah, I think apart from what Jai said, because Portugal, the team around them, right, they don't depend on one player like how Manchester United depend on Bruno, and then the front three of Portugal, they had Cristiano, they had Jota, and they had Bernardo. So the creativity outlet comes from many angles in Portugal. However, for United, only comes from Bruno. So what happened, I think, to him...
One moment.
Yeah.
The creativity angle does not come from left-hand side. Left-hand side, I'm still pissed off. Only the right-hand side, the front and the center. The left-hand side was just...
We already say. That one is well-known. Shout out to our friends at the Plug Malaysia, okay? If I think Hari, if you're watching. Yeah,
Hari.
Yeah.
Then another thing is that of course fatigue played a big role in that, and then also Bruno, he's not the main man to take the free kicks, he's not the main man to take the free, the set pieces, the corners, and all those things. So I guess we do. I don't want to discredit Bruno in the tournament. Of course, he had a very bad tournament in that sense, but of course we need him as full fit back. I'm glad that Portugal didn't go through as far as they can, even getting injured, because Bruno will play a very, very critical role for United. And I think if you want to play around someone, we need to play around Bruno.
Yeah, just to add on, I think he plays a very different role for Portugal, if you look at it. Whereas at United, he plays, just behind the striker, or, just behind the front three. For Portugal, he's playing more of a very central, very deep line midfielder. If you look at even his stats, I think he scored like 4 goals in 33 or 34 appearances, which is 1 goal every 9 games or 8 games, right? So he actually plays a different role, and I think Ole wore him out throughout the season. Even if you look at the last few games of the United season, so he was not performing very well already. I think what he needs is help. Like I said, if we get better bench strength, we can start rotating our teams with no loss in quality. I think then we can actually ensure that these players stay fit throughout the season.
The thing is, if I think we play Selangor Cup also, Bruno will be playing for United. If United play in Selangor Cup, that is how much Ole was using Bruno Fernandes last season. Seriously. That couple games also he was playing. I was like,
Okay, so we move on to the next player, Cotton Ball. We call him Cotton Ball. Okay, Victor Lindelof. Okay, Said, how was his performance for Sweden?
His performance was average, not like a world-class performance, but he managed to have 2 clean sheets in Euros.
Two men of the match, is it? 2 men of the match, right?
1 man of the match.
1 man of
the match against Spain, yeah. But he managed to get another clean sheet against Slovakia. But like the same thing as he plays for United and plays for Sweden, his aerial duels are always bad. I mean, he cannot compete when the ball is in the air. He is good on the ground. He can win duels. He can win tackles. He can dribble past one player or another player. He can also pass the ball on the ground. But when the ball is in the air, I don't know, something wrong. He cannot catch the ball. He cannot, connect the ball correctly. He's so bad when it comes to when clearing the ball when it's in the air. Even the goal which they conceded against Ukraine, I think it was in the late in the extra time. So it was a header, it was a cross from Manchester City left back. So there was a cross, and then he didn't manage to see the ball, he cannot anticipate the ball when the ball is in the air. So the same thing happened during the Euros. His groundwork is really good. I would say he's as good as Varane, but when it comes to the header, he really needs to work on his headers, because we also saw when he plays for Sweden.
Okay, I think we basically covered all the main players that actually played more than one game. For the Euros. Okay, but let's touch a bit on Dr. Rashford. Okay, one of the brave Lions that actually went up and took the penalty shot. Okay, so how was Rashford's performance, Raj?
first of all, shout out to Rashford. Once again, shout out to Rashford, Saka, and Sancho for taking all the decisive penalties for England, and also the players from Italy who missed their penalty kicks. I think all of them did a fantastic job. And it was very disheartening to see a player who last year, after the pandemic or during the pandemic, he was given so much of praise and all, and just because he missed a penalty for England, people started doing all kind of unnecessary things on his mural in Manchester, which was very, very sad to see. So even for me, who I'm not an England fan, but I feel like whatever that they did to the treatment that they gave these players was really, really bad. Rashford, to be very honest, he looks injured. He walks gingerly with not putting too much pressure on his left foot. If you notice, when he walks itself, there's an issue with his ankle. I think the issue with that ankle is not healed yet. And I'm very, very glad that he's going for his shoulder surgery. He decided to push it forward and just go for it. I think he needs some time out of football altogether. Just relax, get his head together, and come back stronger. My only worry is Rashford might get the same treatment as David Beckham got when he did his infamous, it was an infamous World Cup incident, if I'm not mistaken, right? Every ground that he went to in UK, he got booed. So Rashford might suffer from the same treatment from the fans. So it's up to the United fans to actually unite and support Rashford and Sancho for that matter, and make sure that he feels that he does not get too much backlash out of this action. But seriously, to all, just a shout out that we at JomUnited, we don't support any form of racism of any sort. We are always with our players, regardless which team you play for. There's no point taking a knee or whatnot if you're not walking the talk. That's
Yes,
what I would
exactly.
No point taking a knee or doing whatever and say that we are not racist and Black Lives Matter and you wear an armband or you carry a rose. You can even carry the Himalayas, but if we still do the same thing after all that you have spoken, then it is really disheartening to see. So Rashford, he was injured. He was clearly injured. I feel that he should have skipped his Euros. He didn't really perform up to his ability.
Yeah, actually, I think Rashford, he has been carrying this injury not only throughout last season, I think the season previously also. I think that
1
time
year, 2
he
years.
had a back injury or whatnot, right? So, yeah, I'm glad that he's taking some time off. Okay, that will be a good time for brother Martial to show what he can do. Okay, and then, yeah, he definitely deserve a break. Okay, so we move on to another player. Okay, he wasn't in the Euros. Okay, but then stat-wise, early on, he performed like fantastic. He's like the Kante of Brazil, okay, Mr. Fred. Okay, so for Fred, I will move to Josh. So, what do you think about
Did
brother
you just
Fred?
say Kante of Brazil, Dom?
Hey, hey, that was what you all said, okay?
He was more like a cartoon of Brazil,
everyone
dude.
here, okay? Everyone was, suddenly he become Kante, suddenly he become Kante and stuff.
Bro,
You know what?
Casemiro was the CDM for Brazil, not Fred.
I had these messages around saying that Fred playing an awesome position. He playing. I'm going to pass a bit of minutes to Said. Said, can you tell me a bit of what's this Kante? Fred's stats about Brazil that you just shared just now.
Yeah. So I mean, like, the good thing is the passing was good, the 90% and 87. The tackling was good. He was doing tackles, but when you see the dribbling pass, it's only 63%. South American game is like, it's not physical. You have a space where you can pass one or two players easily, like very easily in South America. So even in South American football, he was not even able to dribble past one or two players. It only has 63% of dribbling, and the duels is only 55%. That means if two people coming to battle the ball with him, he will only be success only one time. So one time he's success in the duels, and one time he lose the ball. So I mean, he made an assist. He made an assist for Neymar, and then there was a lot of talk that he's back, and then we need him. There was a lot of hype. Against the media can create hype, but the stats never lie.
Exactly. And one more thing you forgot, Said, he always stand during the free kicks, and this time he was standing beside Neymar on all the free kicks, and I don't know for what reason. He keeps
I nak tambah sikit pasal yang beside Neymar tu, boleh tak? Boleh tak? I tambah sikit.
Boleh. Tambah sikit.
Okay, macam ni. Jangan kita tak sangka lepas ni dekat English Premier League, Fred akan ambil free kick. Confirm dia akan ambil free kick.
Dia nak tembak
maybe dengan Brentford lah. The reason why I asked Said to say all this, because in a team where you are dominating, you have like 90% possession, 80% possession. What's so great about having 87% accuracy pass? You have Pedri, who is an 80-year-old boy, can do 99% passes, and he's not as up in the top Premier League teams and things like that. He's still playing for Barca in the top level. So I don't see the great thing happen to Fred. And you know what? With the hype around Fred playing very well in Copa, playing like that's nonsense, lah. That stats was like totally better a bit in Manchester United. And what happened is during the Copa America final, we saw the real Fred, because in Manchester United
he panicked.
He got yellow card. I mean, in the Copa final, he got yellow card, and halftime he got sent out. In Man United, Ole might play him until the 60 or 70 minutes, even 80 minutes. So for me, it was worse. If someone to sell or someone to be on the books to take him out, I think Fred will be the one, because he's no different. He's not the Kante. He's the cartoon. He's nothing great, and he still underperformed for me. Like, if he really wants to play well, I think I even rate McTominay higher than Fred. But I don't give any credit to Fred as a fan.
But that was really funny, right? Because in the group, everybody was putting the screenshots of all his stats from the previous game. So when and I wasn't really following the Copa, so when they showed the final, I said, okay, let me sit down and watch how Fred is doing for Brazil. After 2 minutes, he got a yellow card. Halftime, he was off. I was like, what the hell is the same shit all over again?
You got to go back for pre-season. You got to rest up for pre-season, dog. That's the thing. Club is more important.
Fake.
Okay, so we move on to our next player, our newly signed player. Okay, we all can just claim that Jadon Sancho is a Manchester United player. So, okay, Doc, just to add on, what do you think about Jadon Sancho's performance? Although he played, I think he only played pretty much one game. So what's your opinion on him?
Yeah, I thought he played very well in that game, though. He was starting on the right. He cut in from the left. He played very well in that game. And I was surprised to see him not feature in the rest of the tournament after that, except for 1 minute before the penalty shootout. I thought against Italy they could have probably used him, especially with Emerson, being hardly playing the whole season and things like that, right? And when they started off with Trippier and Walker covering the right side, and when they made the substitution, I thought he would come in instead of Saka actually. Considering that he had performed in the previous game, I thought he would come in. He would have definitely given Emerson a tougher time. He wouldn't have given Emerson so much space to go forward. Again, very unfortunate with the penalty. I really think that, sometimes you come in for this big game, great atmosphere, like that, they should have been given at least 5-10 minutes to run around before that, to get the feel of the game, to get the feel of that, the support, the crowd, not come in 1 minute before the penalty. That being said, again, in the Villarreal game, we brought in our penalty takers 1 minute before the end, they all scored. So, it can go any which way, right? But again, also, just to add on to what Raj said, we saw a lot of hate with Rashford, but we also saw a lot of love, right? We saw the mural that was disfigured, and, within a day, people had gone and covered it up. They stuck, a lot of messages. And we all talk about, we heard earlier in the previous episode, Syed talking about the younger generation like to dance and all that. But Rashford is also part of the younger generation. But look at what he does, right? He does so much for the people around him on and off the pitch. He is an inspiration to all. Yes. I really think he didn't deserve all of this rubbish that he's had to go through. But this is usual now with social media. But he knows, like De Gea says, right? See you at home, amigo. Yeah. He's coming home. He will have the United supporters around him. Like what we've done to all our fallen heroes from the past, David Beckham, and we will spur them on to greater heights. That is United. That is the United fans, the true United fans.
Even Manchester United is, Manchester United. I think they are ready because they are used to it. Every time England in the biggest competition, whether it's Euro or World Cup, whenever they knock out, they always face like aggression and racism or anything related to it to the players. Manchester United management is very well prepared every time there's a big tournament, how to save their players. Their PR, I think everything is already working. Manchester Evening News, they're putting articles like he is doing community work and all those things. So PR is already active. Manchester United as a management, they know how to do it. But the biggest thing is for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to manage those players who become failure just because of Southgate. I want to blame everything on Southgate. Because of him, these two players have to face all of those things. If Southgate didn't make this blunder to Rashford played only I think 17 minutes in the whole Euros. One minute, and then another one was only for 10 or 15 minutes. Sancho played one game, right? But he should have not brought those two players to take the penalty. Yes. And eventually now Manchester United as a club, we have to be pity on them. I know we have to pity on them because of all the things which is happening. But the root cause is Southgate who created this whole dilemma and whole problem to Manchester United.
Yep.
I nak tambah sikit.
I don't think we should blame Southgate for this. Anyways, don't forget, we had Beckham, we had Rooney, all villains for their country. They came back, and the next season they were highly successful. This year, it'll be time to add Rashford to that list.
Yes.
So it's Ole's job to manage.
I tambah sikit.
Jai, sila Jai.
The past is past. Kita tak payah nak cerita benda yang lepas. Sekarang kita fokus pada klub Manchester United. Rashford balik pada MU. Lepas ni dia injured. Dia buat operation. And then Sancho datang MU. Shaw datang MU. Mogaya datang MU. Dan fokus pada klub. Kita tak payah nak blame. That is experience. Experience tak boleh cari mana-mana. So, mistake. Yang lepas. Kita tak payah nak cakap pasal Southgate ke apa ke. Yang fokus sekarang ialah Manchester United dengan player yang ada. Cukup.
Okay, but the good thing about Ole is I think he actually came out in the press. I think I was reading some of his quotes that he was actually defending the players, saying that for them to actually step up to take the penalty, they are already winners already. So major props to Ole. We all know his man management is top notch. Okay. Just that his ability to substitute players earlier is a bit dodgy lah. But other than that, he's pretty solid lah as a man management manager.
Don't worry, once we get our 3 world-class signings, we have a strong bench, you will see Ole substitutions.
No, that time you won't need a manager already. You got all these good players around. You won't need a manager. The players will just free flow attacking football, whatever it is already. You don't have to worry already. Okay, so we move on to the next player. Okay, this player, I think we can actually assume that he's coming to United 90% he's coming to United Okay, Raphael Varane. Okay, so Said, our French, our French representative of the JomUnited. Okay, so what do you think about Raphael Varane?
I think he had a good tournament. I think one game against Hungary, he made hesitate. He was very hesitant to make a challenge, and then he also conceded a penalty, I think. But his game against Germany was the best, where he made 9 clearance. So 9 clearance in a game is a very big thing. Defending the goal in Germany against Germany, it was a very good performance from him. Again, if we compare some stats, so his stats with Maguire is almost the same. He can win the headers. He can also win the duels on the ground as well. So I'm really looking forward for Varane to come to United. I mean, all those journalists and stats and the Twitter and all, everyone is talking about it's 90% done already. So Manchester United is already looking for the third signing now, and hopefully we can seal him as soon as possible so that we can use him for our preseason, which is starting next week. So it's expected within few days the things will go forward and United eventually make a bid, because I think now we are 5 million away from reaching the expectation of Real Madrid. It's only a matter of 5 million. I mean, come on, just pay what they want.
Yeah, just pay. Yeah. 5 million euros. Yeah, exactly. Okay, just one thing I just want to bring up. Okay, our both our goalkeepers, okay, Henderson and David De Gea, okay, they were the second choice goalkeeper. Basically, they weren't playing, they didn't play for any games for the Euros. Okay, Henderson got injured. He got a hip injury. Okay, De Gea, I think, I don't know. For me, I mean, being biased, I would have put him in the Spain team Okay, so my question is to Doc. Okay, do you think, right, that what happened last season, okay, having 2 world-class goalkeepers, okay, and then, the selection of the goalkeepers and whatnot, the limitation of the times that each of them get to play, and then, the incident whereby De Gea went back for his daughter's birth or something like that, and then Henderson took over as the first choice goalkeeper, and then the issue there, do you think that actually caused these 2 players to lose their number 1 spot in their national team?
Yes, I think so. I think there's been a lot of debate about this. There shouldn't be 2 number 1s at one club, right? Because they're always under pressure to perform. And goalkeepers are positioned unlike any other. There's only one who can play at one time, and maybe even throughout the season, right? Whereas midfield, you got some people who lose form. You can bring in somebody else, or even a guy who performs well, he can take the place of the other. But in the keeper department, there's only one guy, and when you have another very close competitor, a similar class at the same time, you're always under pressure in every game. And a keeper, when under pressure, they tend to make mistakes. Everybody, right? You see, even De Gea has made mistakes before. You see, even Henderson last season, when he took over, he also made mistakes. And things like this, like they say, in training, they'll be perfect. But when you go for a game, because you're so nervous, if you don't perform, I might be, subbed out for the next game, and the other keeper comes in. And I think we saw that quite a bit. For me, there should be only one keeper at a time. And I think also recently there was a report that says that Henderson says, he was mentally really affected, trying to get that first to be the first choice keeper, right? And that itself tells me a few things. One, mentally, he's not very strong for him to, and being at a club, United, where you don't face many shots, you have to be mentally very strong, very prepared for the whole 95 minutes, right? Not only 90 minutes, you have to go plus injury time as well. And it also tells you the pressure that he's on when he's actually playing. That he's got the job. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to make a mistake under extra pressure. So if you look at even De Gea, when he was at his best form, was when he was, when he had Romero as the number 2, who are confirmed number 2s, come in some certain games. You're comfortable. Yes, you train together, you work together, but that person is not a direct threat. If you're going to make one mistake, you're going to be taken off, and the other keeper come back in. And I think once we saw, especially when De Gea came back, you saw Henderson under a lot of pressure, right? Even the goal, he let go to Salah. That whole right-hand side was way open. Salah is going to go to the side. So it comes to a very difficult decision, right? If you want to move on to here, I think, like we mentioned many times, his wages may be a stumbling block. If you want to move on Henderson, then he's the young one, up and coming one. If he's your number one, he can be there for many years. But again, he's not proven himself long enough for me to be considered number one. For me, De Gea is still the number one in United. Yes, he made mistakes after the World Cup and things like that. But last season, he was almost back to his best. And I'm sure now he's had an off season. He went to the Euros, rested. He will come back. He will be stronger. He'll be better. And for me, he is still the number one compared to Henderson. Now, Ole has a big decision to make, whether he wants to move on Henderson or whether he wants to keep this for another season or whatever not. But it is a decision that he needs to make.
Okay, this whole De Gea Henderson thing, in my opinion, has always been spinned by the media out of proportion. I think their main aim was to make Henderson the English goalkeeper for Euro 2020. That was their main aim. And to be very honest, okay, let me digress a little bit to Euro once again. Pickford did a fantastic job for England. Let's not take it away from that. I think even if Henderson would have been in Pickford's position, I don't think he would have done as well as Pickford did. Because Henderson played a full season for Sheffield United and is already feeling the pressure of playing only X number of games for United. De Gea has been our best player for almost 3 to 4 seasons. He was the sole player who was carrying a bag in a defensive partnership between Phil Jones and Chris Smalling. We had De Gea.
Phil Jones was actually pretty legit at one time. Yeah. Okay, he was legit.
So that was David De Gea for you, and I still feel that he's the best goalkeeper we have. Penalties aside, that's a whole different topic altogether. But if you given a choice between De Gea and Henderson, I still feel that Henderson needs to learn more. I feel that Henderson should go on loan to somewhere else. If he wants to stake a claim for his role in United, he should be able to take the pressure. If he cannot take the pressure, then I don't think he's cut for the job. So
I nak tambah satu. De Gea dengan Henderson. Sebelum ni, Luke Shaw dengan Telles masa Luke Shaw tengah merundum, kita masukkan Telles, kita beli Telles untuk comfort fight dengan Luke Shaw dengan Telles. So I think formula yang Ole nak buat sekarang samalah dengan Hendo dengan De Gea. Pressure untuk mendapatkan tempat. Diorang fight with the tempat. Aku tak tahulah sama ada De Gea ni sekarang still nombor 1 ataupun Hendo nombor 1. Tapi yang aku tahu diorang tengah bersaing. Dan sekarang ni ditambahkan lagi 2-3 player keeper yang masuk. So dia punya tekanan lagi banyak lah. Tetapi untuk fight dua ni, diorang still fight tau. Bukan masalah dapat nombor 1 ke dapat nombor 2, tetapi untuk saingan sebagusnya memang ada macam ni. Even sebab kita tahu macam sebelum ni De Gea dengan Romero, kita dah tahu lah Romeo dia still nombor 2, De Gea still nombor 1 sampai Romeo keluar, and then letak Hendo untuk buat saingan. Samalah macam formula yang digunakan dengan Luke Shaw dengan Telles sekarang. Sebab tu Luke Shaw sekarang perform sampai Euro pun kita nampak dia punya performance dia bagus dia. So I think bagus untuk saingan sebenarnya, tak payah nak loan sebenarnya. Better diorang tu fight diorang. Sebab sekarang pun dah tambah 3-4 orang lagi. Lebih baik diorang fight each other lah sebenarnya. Sebab bagus untuk
for a goalkeeping position. It's not true for a goalkeeping position. Any other position the pitch, I agree with you. Yes. Not for a goalkeeping position.
Yes, this one I agree with Doc. I setuju dengan Doc untuk ini. Lain, dia punya mindset masuk lain lah. Dia lain. Example, kalau goalkeeper buat silap, dia akan masuk gol. If just say player buat silap tak perform, he's only one player, ada lagi 9 other players, I mean defending or attacking, is it? Whereas goalkeeper mistake saja habis Sancho. So I think lain lah. This for me, humble opinion is lain lah. Okay, so
but yeah, talking about De Gea and Henderson, like he was a player of the year for a long time. He's being very loyal. He's being like a very commanding goalkeeper with even Phil Jones and Smalling as well. But I would say, like personally, after 2018, there's a dip in his performance. So we have seen the best of De Gea already. I don't think we will see the best of De Gea again, because he has been making mistakes for last 2 seasons. Last season he made less mistake compared to the 1 year before. But even if you remember the 3-3 draw against Everton, it was solely because of him we conceded 2 goals against Everton. And
that one. I think we cannot blame it on De Gea. I think that one was our defensive.
Maguire.
No, it was Maguire. I think 2019 season. Okay, I'm not being biased or whatnot. 2019 season, yes, there are blunders and whatnot. But last season, I think De Gea was solid. We can actually dissect.
But compared to Henderson, like he's not making errors as compared to De Gea even in the last season as well. So
no, very simple.
No. Henderson, you cannot compare Sheffield United.
I ask you a question. Simple question. Okay.
Last season he was with United.
How many mistakes can you remember from De Gea and how many mistakes can you remember from Henderson? In that few games, I can tell you, AC Milan, clear goal. The Liverpool one, 2 goals he gave in. I can remember just from that few games. De Gea's one, only the Everton game. And that is why he didn't come out fast enough. It's not an error. Right? He came out, not fast enough. But that's about it. He was back to his best last season already. There was no way you can say that he made a lot of mistakes last year. No way.
Yeah. But you talk, like the Liverpool goal was Salah goal. And the only mistake which Henderson did is he just stick to his point. He didn't come forward to, to gather the ball.
He left the whole right side open.
But you're talking about the clearing the corners, clearing the set pieces.
Okay, guys. I think we gotta.
He cannot even punch right now.
We gotta leave this to another. If we continue like this, right, eventually Paul Pogba will come out. We'll be talking about 500,000, and then you will
never. Maybe Dia's salary will come out again.
No more, bros. We'll finish already.
No, we talk about Pogba salary, so we should not talk about the salary and all. But I mean, for me, stick to one keeper and go for it. But if you have to make a choice between the 2 keepers, I think Henderson is better right now option for us because his confidence is sky high compared to De Gea. Because De Gea
sebab De Gea pun dengan Spain pun dia tak main.
No, sebab itu yang tadi Doc cakap sebab itu. Sebab even Hendo also bukan pilihan utama untuk England mah. So memang because situation ini, example, if just say Henderson dia perform very well, kita mainkan dia sebagai goalkeeper pertama, England akan ambil dia because boleh tengok confident goalkeeper and he's the number 1 selection for United.
No, sebab actually pasal England, guys, pasal England, Pickford tu memang dah lama dah nombor 1 dengan England. Sebelum Hendo aja pun dia dapat nombor 1.
Jai, if you look at most of the qualifiers, it was actually De Gea who was actually in goal. Only towards the end, because he wasn't playing, the Unai Simon came in and then continued through the Euros.
Exactly. Because they need.
So that mean maksud dia that mean Spain punya coach tak yakin dengan De Gea lah.
Because
even kalau De Gea main dengan MU pun sekarang nombor 1, dia still pilih Simon
because
pilih yang tu.
Dia selection dia tak main untuk kebanyakan game untuk United. So some games Hendo, some games De Gea macam tu. So that akan cost manager untuk Spain, dia akan macam double guess tau. That is the thing. That is the situation that masalah.
Maknanya kalau De Gea nak dapat duduk Spain nombor 1, De Gea kena pindah lah.
Tak.
Sebab De Gea tak main.
No, he's going to fight and win back his place this season.
He's going to be the number 1.
So maknanya baguslah. Ya. Maksud dia maknanya baguslah untuk bersaing.
Tak. Okay, so
baguslah untuk bersaing.
Okay, guys. So basically, right, going into the new season, okay, with how most of our players are performing, okay, people like Luke Shaw, okay, Paul Pogba, Harry Maguire, okay, Lindelof to a certain degree, I'm feeling very, very positive, okay, with the incoming signings, okay, with Sancho, Varane looking like almost done, and then a very possible third signing. Okay, I'm looking forward to the new season. I'm sure you guys are all looking forward to the new season. Okay, so let's all be positive. Okay, Euros dah habis lah. Tak nak cerita bersaing apa, okay. Whoever that gets the number 1 position in the goalkeeper for United, right? Whatever it is, we wish them the best. We want them to do the best, okay? Regardless whether it's Henderson, okay, we got our preference, Henderson or David De Gea, okay? Hopefully it's David De Gea. But then as long as they perform, okay, whether the midfield, whether Paul Pogba will be there, whether we get a replacement or whatnot, whether they perform, the main thing like Said mentioned, okay, his name now is called Stepford Said, okay? What we want is the 3 points, okay? If they can give us the 3 points, okay, that's the United that we want.
No matter.
Okay, so like, share, subscribe, okay, comment below, and we'll see you guys in the next coming episode, okay? See you guys. Stay safe.
Double